Hello everyone, we are back here again with another Sunday Bible Conversations with Bros. As you know, we're going to be just doing a passage, and today there's a little bit of a change. I'll let Colin explain.
So today, in order to focus our efforts and be more concise and I guess give more specific feedback, we are only doing a passage today compared to our usual chapter. This is just all for you guys as well, so you guys can listen to a little bit of a shorter video, but also get some real good stuff out of it. Today, as you know, we'll read it first, then we will go over the literal meaning, the figurative meaning, and we'll have a little bit of song time.
We'll also talk about the real life application as well as your deepest concerns, like we always do it. And we're just going to do a paragraph rather than a passage, just to be clear. But yeah, so we thank you for tuning in. And
I'd like to ask you guys to like, subscribe, turn on that notification bell, do the whole 9 yards, and that's it.
think about what, and we'll come back with a literal, a figurative, and a real life application of what we've read.
Please stop.
Why did you seriously do that?
Being rude.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Did you seriously redo it?
Should be.
No, were you seriously trying to redo it?
Actually, not sorry.
Because Dylan, you should be.
Okay,
because
guys.
it was rude. It wasn't
guys.
gonna work, and it wasn't any louder than what normal.
3, 2, 1. Eyes for the Holy Spirit. Today we'll be reading Sira 43 through 13 to 21. Do not let her reveal her beauty to any male, or spend her time with married women. For just as moths come from garments, so a woman's wickedness comes from a woman. Better a man's harshness than a woman's indulgence, a frightened daughter than any disgrace. Now I will recall God's work. What I have seen, I will describe. By the Lord's word, his works were brought into being. He accepts the one who does his will, as the shining sun is clear to all. So the glory of the Lord fills all his works. Yet even God's holy ones must fail, in recounting the wonders of the Lord. Though God has given his hosts the strength to stand firm before his glory, he searches out the abyss and penetrates the heart. Their secrets he understands, for the Most High possesses all knowledge, and sees from the old the things that are to come. He makes known the past and the future, and reveals the deepest secrets. He lacks no understanding. No single thing escapes him. He regulates the mighty deeds of his wisdom.
True that. Alright guys, now it's time for a little tune. This is 21 Questions by 50 Cent.
Thank you for listening. And thank you, Colin.
Thank you for listening to my tune.
Thank you for listening to his tune. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to us.
Alright, so what I found about this, I just want to start with 13 and 14. It says, for just as moths come from garments, so a woman's wickedness comes from a woman. Better a man's harshness than a woman's indulgence, a frightened daughter than any disgrace. So I think people might get this wrong, and they might think that it has to do with gender, like better a man's harshness than a woman's indulgence. I don't think so. I think what the main idea of it is they're saying when they're talking about a man's harshness, they're talking about a man's punishment. So I think at a base of it, it's better punishment than indulgence. So they're saying like better doing something wrong than getting punished for your actions and then it preventing you doing more wrong. So for example, it says better a frightened daughter than any disgrace. That's saying like, for example, in an instance of a father and daughter, that would be the frightened daughter being punished by the harshness of the man, but it prevents further disgrace. So they're saying better the harshness, better the punishment, than just letting stuff slide and being a disgrace to your religion and to your family, just doing wrong things. After that, I have to say,
I think the indulgence part, I wonder if that comes to Eve being the one who took the fruit as well. When they say a woman's indulgence, I wonder if that could be a theme.
And man's harshness might be
God.
maybe God.
Yeah.
Yeah, man's harshness.
They got punished for it, right? I thought they were limited.
I think
they
this
could
is
eat.
I think this is in an instance of like a father and daughter. I don't think harshness as in wrath in this instance. I think like as a wrongful wrath. I think of it as just like a tough love. Like you gotta punish your kid. For doing stuff. You can't just let stuff slide or else they'll never learn. After that, I would say if we're talking about the literal meaning from the passage, really lines 18 through 21 I think are just straightforward. Besides maybe the first line in 18, he says he searches out the abyss and penetrates the heart. I think we can talk about that a little bit later in the symbolic standpoint, but after that he goes, for the Most High possesses all knowledge. He sees from of old the things that are to come. He makes known the past and the future and reveals the deepest secrets. He lacks no understanding. No single thing escapes him. He regulates the mighty deeds of his wisdom. He is from all eternity one and the same. I think that's just pretty straightforward, saying he's omnipotent, he's omnipowerful, he's has an omni knowledge. So like he knows everything. He knows the past, the future. I think that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Would anyone else want to say that?
Well, it's interesting, saying he makes known the past and the future, reveals the deepest secrets. That's just an interesting thing. Makes known. I wonder how that should be interpreted. If that's meant to be humans, prophets, maybe. And
Could be prophets.
reveals the past. I mean, that could be things along the lines of Genesis. I mean, as we're reading right now, a lot of this is essentially the Bible is supposed to be revealing the past. Sorry, you're gonna say something?
Yeah, I would say that I don't think it's as much as him revealing the past to others. I think it's him. He makes known the past and the future. I think that it's an interesting way of saying he himself knows the past and the future. I wouldn't say that he's like telling people the future, although in an instance he did tell people like he is telling people that God's gonna have a second coming. So I guess that'd be an instance of that.
But if he knew the future fully, then that would kind of like mean that like fate and like destiny is like true, because if he knows like what's exactly gonna happen, that means you're gonna take that. Like,
well, it's still our choice nonetheless. Just because he knows the future doesn't mean that it's not our choice. It's still our choice. He just knows the future.
He knows what we're gonna pick.
I can choose wrong. He just knows like what I am gonna choose, but it's not like he's giving me. Every human being has the opportunity to choose right. He's not creating human beings saying they can never choose right. They can never.
Yeah. So he didn't
be good.
control it.
Could if he wanted to, but he gives us free will. And it also says that in other parts of the Bible. Is there any more you guys have to say?
I think it's interesting when he says. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying that you covered a lot of the stuff I was.
He searches out the abyss and penetrates the heart. I think that's interesting. I looked up two definitions of the abyss. And granted, this was translated English, so the abyss, it could have different interpretations, but a deep or seemingly bottomless chasm, a wide or profound difference between people, a gulf, or the regions of hell conceived of as a bottomless pit, the abyss. So it's interesting when you look back at, and I'm using my phone just to, I have a picture of it on here. When it goes back to, he searches out the abyss and penetrates the heart. So that could mean God is, I guess when you say he searches out, he's looking in the darkest parts. He's looking in, he searches, not necessarily literal hell, and maybe so, but in the sense that he looks through the abyss, maybe he looks in the darkest parts of our society, and then when penetrating his heart, he looks for us, and then he doesn't externally try and change you. He tries to change you internally. You'll see in some very poor areas, there's incredibly alive churches and things like very very dire areas. And you see people.
He's there for the people that are spoken in the Beatitudes, I couldn't name them off the top of my head, but just God speaks for the outcasts of society. Sometimes I feel like, and
yeah. I think a lot of this is great symbolism. As the shining sun is clear to all, so the glory of the Lord fills all his works. Just symbolizing, comparing God to the nature which he created. It's interesting that they use nature to compare God to what he's already created.
Yeah.
And towards the end, I agree. It's just a reinstatement of his omnipotence and absolute being, which is important, that people understand that God isn't an actual being. He is the act of being itself. He is eternity, one and the same. Yeah.
And to put it into literally, he knows everything, so you shouldn't be saying stuff that's under your breath about someone that's bad, because God hears that clearly. And I also, this is unrelated, I read that in Wisdom 1 as well. It's they both, and it's very important to not say bad stuff about people, because God knows, and God accounts for it.
Anything to think about how we can apply this to real life? And if you have any opinions on that, of course you can comment down below, but how these things can apply to our lives.
Well, it's good to know and to keep in mind, for example, the literal, when they talk about what God is literally, it's good to keep that in mind and to know that you're second in life. He's first. He created this, and that he is all-powerful. It's good. It's like a humbling thing. For you to literally know that and to keep that in mind in your everyday life, that's important. Also, I would say the instance where they say better a man's harshness than a woman's indulgence, referring to this would be helpful to parents. Just not letting stuff slide, not trying to be the popular parent, but doing what's really best for your child. In some instances, it's having hard love, or what's the word?
Tough love.
Tough love. By doing tough love, it's really the best thing for your kids sometimes. And just being the popular parent and letting stuff slide isn't going to be always what's best for your kid, especially in their journey with God.
Yeah. Well said.
All right. Well, is that?
I think that sums it up.
Thank you for watching Bible Conversations with Bros this Sunday. We hope you have a blessed Sunday and a great week. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you for watching.
Please like and subscribe and turn on that notification bell.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and just as a quick clarification, that was actually chapter 42, not chapter 43. So if anyone's still watching at this point, it's 42, just so you know. Thank
You'll
you.
be subtitles, don't worry.
Yes, we will put in some iMovie edit that'll say chapter 42.
I just wanna chill and twist a lie. Catch stunts in my 745. You drive me crazy, shorty. I need to see you and feel you next to me. I provide everything you need. That I like your style. I don't wanna see you cry. Got some questions that I got to ask, and I hope you could come up with the answers, girl.